I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Trini Lovely. If you don't know me by now, this is Trini Lovely. So today we're going to talk about how we can attract our soulmate using the laws of attraction. So the first thing I want to talk about when I talk about a soulmate, I want to go into the definition of what is a soulmate. So a soulmate is a person that actually has a connection with you, and there's a bond between you and that person by the soul. Now, every relationship that you may come into, whether you like the person or not, or love the person, may not be your soulmate. So a soulmate and an ordinary relationship has different attributes, different feelings, different emotions. So one of the ways to know that you ran into your soulmate is by the level of connection you have with that person. There's times where people have been in a relationship before, but you always felt like you were missing something. You felt lonely. You felt like you didn't have anyone. You felt like no one really understood you. You felt like no one really cared. There was things that person made you feel in your emotions that actually made you feel like you're not connected to the person, but you still stayed in the relationship, and that's because that person was not a soulmate. Now, when you run into a soulmate, that person is still human. So that person still goes through the same lesson that a human person has to go through. So it's still going to be a relationship where you might have pain, you might have anger, you might have jealousy, you might have bickering. But the difference between a relationship and any relationship versus a soulmate, well, you're going to have this empathy. You're going to have this compassion. You're going to feel fulfilled, right? So you're going to, whether or not you're bickering, you're always going to feel this connection being drawn to you. Even when you get into an argument, you're always going to have this boundary that you don't want to cross. You're always going to have this boundary and say to yourself, I'm never going to go step to that boundary and disrespect that person to that extent. So all this is based on the connection with the soul, right? That you basically holding yourself back from going too far. Because when you have a soulmate, you start looking at things a bit different, right? You start looking at yourself as one, right? So you start saying to yourself, I don't want to hurt this person, because hurting this person becomes like it's hurting me. So that's the difference between having a soulmate versus having another relationship. So as I said before, you have to be realistic here. A soulmate is not going to be a person that's worshiping you or allowing you to take full advantage of the person, right? You're not going to meet someone and be like, okay, because I'm taking the person for granted and that person is in my life and I'm disrespecting or I'm hurting this person or I'm cheating on this person. This is my soulmate because that person didn't want to leave. That's another story, right? That's basically in another video. I'll tell you a little bit about that. But basically a soulmate is somebody who has specific connection with you based on that soul connection, right? So let's talk about laws of attraction, right? Laws of attraction is when we can actually, whatever we put out, it comes back in return, right? So whatever you put out in the universe comes back in return. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper on what I mean when I say laws of attraction. Laws of attraction. How could we manifest a relationship in laws of attraction, right? If you are using laws of attraction to get what you want as far as a relationship based on a soulmate relationship, then it has to match, right? The vibration, the wavelength has to match the thought process. It has to match what you believe. It has to have emotions on it, right? So in order for you to get and manifest what you want through laws of attraction, it has to have emotion on what you're basically trying to manifest using laws of attraction. Because everything that you say comes out of your mouth has a vibration, right? If you woke up one day and you're in a relationship and you go to your best friend and you start complaining, you know what? I think he or she is cheating on me. You know what? I believe that he's back with his ex. I believe she's back with her ex. Right? I believe that he or she doesn't love me anymore. And it's emotion behind this. Now you're actually, you basically talked it into existence. You basically believe it because you're telling the next person, right? It's bothering you, right? That you took it and you left from your thought process and you put it into your mouth and open up your mouth and speak on it, right? So this is something that you believe. The universe is gonna match that back, and that's laws of attraction, right? Because you're putting emotion on something. You're creating your own reality based on what you believe. So if you use that same concept of saying, I want a soulmate, I want to meet my soulmate, and you start looking at things from a different perspective, right? Sometimes we may meet people in our life and take them for granted, right? Sometimes we may meet people in life and not see that person could be your soulmate, based on our own misconception of what we believe a soulmate is. Because a lot of people believe that a soulmate is going to be the one that comes into your life and adores you, right? And worship you. Not knowing that the soulmate is really has that bind to you by the soul. So that person is still going to come into your life and still be human, right? They're not going to come into your life and just automatically worship you and praise you and, you know, have you on a pedestal. But that connection and that bond that you have with that person is going to be irreplaceable, right? That person is still going to have different feelings, human feelings, right, towards you, as getting angry, getting upset. But at the same time, that person is going to have that compassion, that empathy, that care, that kindness. And it's always going to be, when you're comparing someone else to that person, you're always going to see the difference between the treatment that you're getting from the soulmate in comparison, the treatment that you got from the previous relationships. So if you're trying to manifest a soulmate, as I always say before, your thought process must change, right? You have to look at things from a different perspective, right? So your soulmate could be right within your whole reach, right? You could be at school and have your soulmate sitting beside you, chasing you around all this time and just want to be with you, and you just don't want to give your soulmate a chance, right? You could have a soulmate in the job and don't even know this person is your soulmate because you have him in the friend zone, or you have her in the friend zone, right? Because this person who's your soulmate is not gonna be like, oh my God, it's love at first sight automatically all the time, right? It's gonna be a connection from that soul. You might be able to connect to that person so deep that you may never have that connection with anybody else. And all that kind of tells you about if that person is your soulmate. So using laws of attraction to manifest your soulmate and bringing your soulmate in your life is by your thought process, by the way you believe. Now, if you believe that you're not going to get happiness and you're not going to get love and all guys are the same and all females are the same, then you will never be able to meet your soulmate. You will never be able to attract that soulmate, right? Because it's laws of attraction, right? There's universal laws of attraction, right? So this is a universal law. So if you believe that you're going to meet your soulmate and you have emotion on it, and when you are putting yourself out there to date, you're believing that one day that person is going to walk into your life. Guess what you're doing? You're manifesting your soulmate, right? You're manifesting that person who you want in your life by the way of your thought process, by the way that you're attracted, right? Because it's not about just saying what you want. It's the emotions behind it. Anyone could say, I'm going to win the lotto. But that doesn't mean that you're going to win the lotto, right? Anyone could say, you know what, I'm going to buy a new house. That doesn't mean that you're going to buy a new house. It's the emotion behind when you're attracting and manifesting for laws of attraction for it to be successful. Now, I'm going to tell you something. And this is really crazy, right? And I like to use examples. And one of my reasons I like to use examples is because I like people to understand exactly what I'm talking about. I was 15 years old and I actually wanted a dog. My dad didn't want a dog in America because I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from Trinidad. And when we came here, my dad just didn't believe that animals belong in the house. He didn't want animals in the house. He believed that the animals should be in the backyard as a guard dog, because that's one of the ways, you know, everybody has culture, and that was the culture that we had as in the Caribbean with our dogs during that era. I can't speak for now because, you know, I'm not in Trinidad and I don't know how they actually operate now. So when I was 15, I wanted a German Shepherd, right? And I remember asking a friend, how can I get a German Shepherd and how much is the German Shepherd? And my friend told me he paid $700 for his dog. And the German Shepherd was actually more money than his pit bull. And then he told me the fact that I wanted as a puppy, I was going to actually pay way more than how much I was paying. Now, during that time, I have always been very, I would say, very versatile with my thought process, right? When I was younger, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I remember every day laying down and just daydreaming on having a puppy, right? This is manifestation, right? Because you're actually putting that emotion, you're putting that thought, you're putting that thought process to use, right? And I will think about having this dog. I will believe that I'm going to have this dog. And this was going on for months. And let me tell you how crazy this is. Let me tell you how laws of attraction really works. And this is not even anything that I'm making up. My first dog name was Trigger, and it was a German Shepherd. One day, I heard 2 dogs crying in my backyard. Went outside and saw 2 German Shepherds, 2 puppies. The German Shepherds was so small, I could pick them up within my hand. They were actually 2 weeks old when I took it to the vet. I asked my mother during that time if we could have the dog, and she told me no. She said, get those dogs out of the yard. Anyway, by the time I came outside, my sister was like trying to give them crackers, trying to feed them, and they were so scared they ran out the gate. And I was so disappointed. I was like, oh my God, there go my German Shepherds that I've been asking about. 2 of them. And my dad happened to call at that same time, and he was very adamant that he did not want any dogs in his house as we lived in America. And when he called, he said, sure, you guys can have the dog. But the dog is already outside. Like, there's numerous people on the block now chasing this dog, like trying to get this dog. All I had to hear was my dad saying, go ahead, you can have this dog. And when I tell you, I went outside and the dog was hiding under the car. And no one could actually get this dog. I went into military style and I crawled under that car and I got my dog. And when I tell you the laws of attraction work by the way how you think, by how you believe, how you put it into action. Now that one was a little bit me sitting down in a house and waiting for it to happen, because I didn't expect it to happen. And you got to keep in mind, I'm 15. I'm a child. I don't have $700 to buy a dog. And my parents is against dogs being in the house. But through my thought process, through my beliefs, through my manifestation, through the fact that I'm literally every day manifesting and not knowing that I'm manifesting. Because before I go to sleep, I'm laying on my bed and I'm thinking about how happy it will make me feel if I had a dog, how excited I will be if I have a dog. And I'm really putting myself within that thought process to really believe that if I had a dog, how my life will change and how happy I will be. So I would daydream myself with this dog. And through the laws of attraction, I attracted my dog. All right? So you can do the same exact thing as far as a soulmate, right? You don't have to just daydream all day, but before you go to your bed, you can think about that happiness that person is going to bring you in your life. That soulmate, when that soulmate comes into your life, how excited you're going to feel, right? You can attract your soulmate using the same exact example of my personal experience into your life by attracting your soulmate. Because the first thing that you have to start doing is start believing that love can happen for you, right? That soul connection can happen for you, right? You can't take the negative relationships and put it in your thought process. You have to release it. Because when you're attracting laws of attraction, whether it's negative or not, the minute you have that negative thought process, that universe is going to give it back to you, right? It's not going to cancel out because it's negative. Whatever you believe, you're going to attract it. And that's the whole true thing to laws of attraction, right? If you believe that it's not going to happen for you, guess what? It's not going to happen for you. If you believe that all guys are cheaters, guess what? Every guy you meet are going to be the cheaters. If you believe that every female that you meet is not worthy for your relationship, then every relationship you meet is not going to be worthy. So you have to attract based on what you want. You have to learn to control the thoughts, control the mind, by allowing yourself to be free of negativity. Now, it's impossible to be free of negativity, and that's another video I'll tell you. But you can train your thoughts by allowing yourself to dismiss the negativity based on your personal experience, right? Your personal experience has nothing to do with your future. And you have to always think that. Whether or not you've been in abusive relationship, you've been hurt, you've been disappointed, you have been in all bad relationships, your future can always be changed based on the way you think, right? So you have to basically disconnect the negativity to attract the positivity. And that is how you can attract your soulmate, by your thought process, by believing that it could happen for you, and changing the way you think.